Welcome to the Unspeakable, the channel that delves into the darkest corners of human nature and brings you the most shocking stories from the world of crime. From heinous murders to bizarre twists, we bring you the cases that will leave you stunned and questioning the limits of what humans are capable of. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into 10 of the most insane crime cases with unbelievable twists that will leave you wondering how such events could ever occur. So brace yourself for a journey into the unspeakable as we explore these mind-bending stories of greed, betrayal, and murder. Case 1, the triple murder. In 2007, the small town of Cheshire, Connecticut was rocked by a brutal triple murder. A family of 4 was held hostage and tortured for hours before being killed. 2 men, Stephen Hayes and Joshua Komisarjevsky, were quickly arrested and charged with the crime. But as the trial unfolded, a shocking twist emerged. It turned out that the mastermind behind the crime was not one of the 2 men on trial, but actually the wife and mother of the victim, Jennifer Hawk T. She had conspired with the 2 men to kill her family for the insurance money. Hawk T had met Hayes at a local supermarket and had become involved in a sexual relationship with him. She then convinced him to help her rob her home and kill her family. The plan went horribly wrong, and the entire family was brutally murdered. The case shocked the nation and left many wondering how a mother could do such a thing to her own family. Hawk T was eventually found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without. Case 2, the fake kidnapping. In 2015, Denise Huskins was reported kidnapped from her home in Vallejo, California. Her boyfriend, Aaron Quinn, was tied up and drugged, and a ransom demand was made. But as the investigation unfolded, the police began to doubt the authenticity of the kidnapping. Eventually, it was revealed that the entire thing had been a hoax orchestrated by Huskins and Quinn. They had faked the kidnapping in order to get attention and possibly a book or movie deal. The case made headlines around the world and raised questions about the validity of some kidnapping claims. Huskins and Quinn were eventually charged with multiple felonies, including conspiracy to commit kidnapping, and sentenced to prison. Case 3, the escape artist. In 2013, a man named Paul William Scott Anderson was arrested for armed robbery in Michigan. He was placed in a holding cell, but within minutes, he had disappeared. It turned out that Anderson was a master escape artist and had managed to slip out of his handcuffs in the cell. Anderson was on the run for several months before finally being caught. During his time on the run, he committed several more crimes, including carjacking and bank robbery. Anderson's incredible escape made him a legend in the criminal world and earned him the nickname Hadi. He was eventually sentenced to over 13 years in prison. Case 4, the murder-suicide. In 2011, a couple was found dead in their home in Lake Township, Ohio. The husband had shot his wife and then turned the gun on himself. The case seemed like a clear-cut murder-suicide, but as investigators dug deep, they found evidence that pointed to a third party. It turned out that the couple's son, Sean Ford Jr., had hired a hitman to kill his parents so that he could inherit their estate. The son was eventually convicted and sentenced to life in prison for his role in the crime. The case shocked the small community and left many questioning how someone could be capable of such a heinous act. Case 5, the wedding day murder. In 2014, a bride named Christina Haida was preparing for her wedding day in Tennessee when she was brutally murdered by her ex-husband, James Hawkins. Hawkins had been stalking Haida for months and had even been arrested for domestic violence, but he was released on bail and was able to carry out the attack. Hawkins then led police on a high-speed chase before crashing his car and killing himself. But as investigators looked into the case, they uncovered a shocking twist. It turned out that Hawkins had hired another man to carry out the murder for him. The hired hitman, Norman McKinney, was eventually arrested and pleaded guilty to murder. The case raised questions about the dangers of domestic violence and the need for better protections for victims. Case 6, the fake doctor. In 2011, a woman named Wanda Morris was arrested in Florida for practicing medicine without a license. Morris had been injecting her clients with a mixture of cement, superglue, and other substances in order to give them larger buttocks and other body parts. Several of her clients suffered serious health problems as a result of the injection. The case made headlines around the world and raised questions about the dangers of unlicensed cosmetic procedures. Morris was eventually convicted and sentenced to 10 years in prison. Case 7, the death investigation. In 2007, a woman named Stacy Castor was found dead at her home in upstate New York. The case was initially ruled a suicide, but as investigators looked deeper into Castor's life, they uncovered evidence of a much more sinister plot. It turned out that Castor had poisoned her husband with antifreeze several years earlier and had attempted to do the same to her own daughter. She had staged her own death to make it look like a suicide in order to frame her daughter for the murder. Castor's daughter was eventually exonerated, and Castor was found guilty of murder and attempted murder. She died in prison in 2016. Case 8, the bank robbery. In 1997, A man named Bryant Wells walked into a bank in Pennsylvania with a bomb strapped to his chest. He demanded money and was given $8,702 by the tellers. As Wells walked out of the bank, the bomb detonated, killing him instantly. The case became known as the Pizza Bomber case, as Wells had claimed that he had been forced to rob the bank by people who had strapped the bomb after he delivered a pizza to their house. As investigators looked into the case, they uncovered a complex web of conspiracy involving several people who had conspired to rob the bank and kill Wells. The case remains one of the most bizarre and convoluted in criminal history. Case 9, The Missing Children. In 2008, a woman named Julie Corey was found wandering the streets of Massachusetts with a newborn baby that she claimed was her own. But as investigators looked into Corey's story, they found that the baby had actually been kidnapped from a woman named Darlene Haynes, who had been brutally murdered in her home. Corey was eventually found guilty of kidnapping and sentenced to life in prison. The case raised questions about how someone could be capable of such a heinous act and sparked a nationwide search for missing children. Case 10, The Disappearance. In 2001, a young woman named Chandra Levy disappeared while jogging in Washington, D.C. Her disappearance sparked a massive search and became a major news story. The case remained unsolved for several years until a man named Mark Wandik was arrested and charged with Levy's murder. But as the trial unfolded, a shocking twist emerged. It turned out that Wandik had not actually killed Levy and had been wrongly convicted. The true killer has never been found, and the case remains one of the most high-profile unsolved mysteries in American history. Thank you for watching and taking this journey into the darkest corners of human nature with us. We hope these mind-bending stories have left you speechless and questioning what humans are capable. If you want to continue exploring the depths of the human psyche and the most shocking crime case, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Our archive is filled with even more twisted tales and shocking twists, waiting for you to discover them. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.